Ruben and Ruben's reaction!
This is Roman.
And Ruben.
And we are going Hollywood, and we are so excited to have our first interview with a really cool lady, Miss Mercedes Rose. Any gamer out there will recognize her voice as the original Princess Rosalina in both Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And her feature film work includes What the Bleep Do We Know?, the Train Master series, as well as network television appearances in TNT's Leverage and IFC's Portlandia. Mercedes is also one of the stars and creators of the web series The Haunting of Sunshine Girl. Mercedes, thank you so much for being on our show.
Yay!
Thank you for having me. And as Rosalina would say, let us begin.
How did you start in the entertainment business?
Great question. I love it when people start way in the back and not, how did you get Princess Rosalina? Because that's usually how they want to start. So, I mean, honestly, when you are an Aries redhead only child whose mother named her Mercedes Rose, there's not as many options. You just feel like entertainment is kind of your natural home. And growing up, because I was an only child and it was, the 70s, I was home alone in the afternoon. TV was my babysitter, and I grew up thinking, I want to do that. I want to be an actor. But I didn't realize that working actors was a thing. I kind of thought I needed to be Julia Roberts or nothing. Like, I didn't realize there was anything in between. So when my kids were little, my two youngest were little, I saw an advertisement for, we're going way back here. You guys remember UPN, the channel UPN?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the UPN before CW, before they combined, there was a show that filmed in Oregon called, oh my gosh, Nowhere Man with Bruce Greenwood.
Yes.
Only aired for 1 year, and they were looking for extras. And I saw in the Oregonian, we're looking for extras to be on this TV show. And I was like, oh, that would be so fun. I want to do that. So I was on the pilot episode as an extra. And anyone who knows entertainment knows that means you're just in the background. You're not anything at all.
Uh-huh.
And I got on set and I was like, oh, this is home. This is where I want to be. This is amazing. Wait, I don't want to be back here. I don't want to be over there. I want the chair with my name on it. I immediately was like, And I was so naive. I didn't know any better. I just walked right up to the casting director and was like, how do I do that? She was so sweet. Nanette Troutman, anyone in Oregon who's ever done anything in film knows Nanette, knows how great she is. She hooked me up with an acting class. That acting class got me my first agent. My first agent got me my first commercial. Izzy's Pizza, if anyone throwing it way back.
Yes.
Miss it.
Yeah.
Izzy's Pizza was my first commercial, and it just snowballed from there. And I loved it. I was right. It was home. It was where I was supposed to be.
Oh.
Well, going off of that with Izzy's and working on Nowhere Man here in Oregon, have you primarily stayed in the Oregon area for your work, or have you done LA? Have you gone to Hollywood? And
Have I gone Hollywood? You know what? Because I already had kids when I started, I knew I was never going to move. I was going to make a living in Oregon, and that was really important to me. The great thing is that we have a really solid foundation here in Oregon. We have a lot that happens. We have a lot of filming that takes place, both our own stuff that we create, our own homegrown stuff, and then LA productions and other states that come here to film because it's gorgeous. So that's how we end up with things like Twilight and Portlandia and all of these things that people want to film in Oregon. I mean, Portlandia, obviously they had to. It was about us. It was about keep Portland weird. So especially when I first got started, there was a lot of movies of the week that filmed here. And so for the first couple years, I was auditioning multiple times a week to be in a movie of the week where it was like The Victim. It was, these acting roles that are called 5 lines and less. So basically, if you have 5 lines or less, they're booking local talent for that. So we were auditioning just constantly. Everyone in Portland at that point was just, that was movies of the week, but then also like Mr. Holland's Opus, The Ring, Goonies, Kindergarten Cop. All those things were filming in Oregon, and they were using local actors for some of the smaller parts. And then again, Twilight and all of those things. So it was very busy back then. It's slowed down a little. Tax incentives have changed, so productions are going to Canada more than to Portland, unfortunately. So, but we have a really strong Oregon film that really works hard to, get productions to come here. So, yeah, I didn't ever want to leave. I love Oregon. It's home. So, yeah.
It's a great place. Let's see, getting into Super Mario Brothers, it's a very iconic game, cartoon, video game. It's a huge franchise. It's huge, like 40 years old. What alerted you to this particular position of you playing Rosalina?
Nothing alerted me. My agent sent me. My agent sent me the audition.
You paid them to tell you where to go.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything about video games, and to this day, I have fans that ask me questions about video games and the franchise, and I got nothing. It was like every other audition. My agent sent over what's called a breakdown. So it's basically the character name, which back then it was not Rosalina. It was originally Princess Rose.
Oh,
so Mercedes Rose, I was like, meant to be. So, and then also in the breakdown, it'll tell you sort of, what the vibe is of the character, for lack of a better word. And, it was, she's mother of the galaxy, so she's, ethereal, and her voice is comforting. And so I just looked at that and went, it's my mom reads a book to the kids, that's really what it was. And so I just sort of did Mercedes Rose mom and booked it, and that was really it. I traveled up to Seattle. We recorded at a kind of very famous voiceover studio up in Seattle called Bad Animals. It was started by the band Heart to record their albums, and a lot of really famous things have recorded there. And I recorded for one afternoon, just like 4 hours, and at the time I didn't really know what it was for. It turns out it was for Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Kart, and so for Wii. And so every line I did sort of in this like ethereal, calm voice, let us begin. And then also for Kart, let's go. A lot, same voice, but like hyped up.
Right.
I probably just blew the mic with that, but that idea. So I recorded for a couple hours, and then Nintendo used my voice forever for Rosalina. I was replaced. It is true. That is not uncommon. So different people have played Rosalina since then. However, Super Mario Galaxy 2 just got a new chapter added, 2 weeks ago? That is my voice again. So
nice.
Congratulations.
I don't get anything extra for that, but it is very cool. So, it's when you do something for a huge franchise like that, they sort of own you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I use this as kind of like my go-to for thinking about anybody doing voiceover work in that movie La Bamba with Richie Valens, where he just keeps going over and over because they have to get that perfect edit in there. And so was it, I'm assuming it was a lot of fun to do it, but it's also work. So did you feel like it just got tiring at some point, like they wanted it a different way, or,
In general, with video games, you go in knowing you're going to be physical and it's going to be exhausting. So, we wear layers so that we can, as we're getting warmed up, we can start taking our sweatshirts off and all that. You have to be able to move because there's always going to be, well, not always, I guess it depends on the video games, but there's going to be fight sounds and that kind of thing. Nintendo pretty much knew what they wanted, so it was very much, the lines are short for anything Rosalina says, so it's all very short sentences, and I would do it as many ways as we could think of. So, sad, sassy, angry, in love, or whatever, and you would do it all those different ways, and then they would do any that you might have missed. And so I love it, but I've also been doing it for a really long time, and video games are kind of the same regardless if they're Nintendo or an indie video game. So it was very traditional video game. Like at one point they said, sort of what would be the sound if Rosalina, well at the time Rose, but whatever, if the princess hit someone with her wand, what noise do you think that would make? And it was just sort of, or whatever, it was just, I sort of made noises for a while. Very common. A lot of times when you are a voice actor and you're auditioning for a video game, you often will, especially if you live with neighbors nearby or in an apartment, you might hang a sign on your door that says, voice auditioning for a video game, do not call the police. Because you're doing like screaming sounds and death sounds, and luckily my neighbors don't live very close, so I'm safe there. But
oh my gosh,
it's a real thing. So it was, in a lot of ways, Rosalina was kind of like a lot of other jobs I've done. I didn't know how big it would become. I'm not even sure if Nintendo knew how big that franchise, specifically Rosalina, would become. I wish I'd known, because I think I definitely would have recorded more stuff that day. I didn't even take a picture of me in the booth. I'm like so bummed. It was 2007, social media was just, I got a MySpace page back then, so it's changed a lot.
Tell us about other voice work you've done.
So I definitely got into the whole working actor thing. So a lot of the stuff that I do is what's called non-broadcast. So it's kind of boring. Here in the Northwest, we have Intel, Hewlett-Packard, Nike, Adidas. So I do a lot of training videos. I'm really good at sounding like I know what I'm talking about when I don't. It's great.
Stop it.
Yeah. So I do a lot of that where it's just long copy, and it's just, maybe a 20-minute script, and I can get through a whole script with very few pickups where I mess up and have to, go back, and it makes it great for the editor. So a lot of my stuff is really not glamorous, but I love it. It's really fun. I do a lot of phone systems. So like here in the Northwest, thank you for calling Women's Healthcare Associates. Please press 1. So
that's you?
Yes. So like
Wow.
During the pandemic, had to, a medical office had to update their phone systems a lot. So I'd get panicked emails. Hey, can you update this one? This clinic is closed, so that kind of thing. So a lot of those. I do commercials and that. I do political ads. I kind of do, there's a lot of voice stuff that people don't even realize. I do Mind the Gap videos, or voices. So that would be like, welcome to Portland International Airport. I don't actually do that one, but we call those Mind the Gap voices. So like the voice you hear on a subway. I do a lot of those. I have 2 agents. My agent here in the Northwest gets me a lot of commercial and that type of thing, the non-broadcast. I have an agent in Atlanta. They tend to get me some commercial and that kind of thing, but a lot of times that side will be more like voices in movies or television shows. So, characters that you maybe see the back of their head. It's cheaper, rather than paying the on-camera actor, they pay an extra and then they dub in a voice. So that kind of thing. So it just kind of depends. I get a lot of work overseas because I am from the Northwest. I don't have a regional accent. So yeah, there's way more voiceover out there than people realize.
Well, I imagine with voiceover work, because just, me working in theater and whatnot, there are a lot of actors who'd say, oh, I would love to do voiceover work. And, I'm just getting this picture of when, you do public appearances or you meet people that you just got to deal with, hey, I do a funny cartoon voice. You want to hear? Because it gives me that impression that it's such an in-demand thing to do. Right. So has it been, I guess my question is it harder for people nowadays to break into voiceover if you don't have that experience and that resume behind you?
No, it's a great question, and yes. Because the reality is, I could have 5 commercials on the radio back to back, and you wouldn't necessarily know they were all me. If I was on camera, you'd be like, that girl was just in the Fred Meyer ad, and now she's in Toyota. What's happening? So the funny thing is that people think that you have to have a character voice in order to do it. But the reality is, character voices rarely get booked on much. If you really listen to almost anything, it's rarely a character. Even cartoons are rarely character voices anymore. Back in the day, sure, but now it's a lot of just kind of normal voices. So if people don't know what I do, they don't necessarily go, oh, are you a voice actor? Whereas my friend who kind of sounds like Betty Boop all the time, people all the time hear her say something like, you must do voiceover. It's like, I'd love to, but no one ever hires me. It is kind of one of those things where you have to be versatile and be able to do a lot of different things, especially for video games. They want you to play not Nintendo, not Rosalina. They did not ask me to do multiple voices. But for most video games, I have ones for like America's Next Top Model, Star Trek. I did like 4 voices for each of those. It's on my IMDb, just check it out there. So it is a little bit different, but yeah, a lot of people think it is really easy. It's just talking. It's really not. There's a lot more to it. So.
When's the last time you played your own character on Mario Kart?
Yeah, I've never played it.
I knew it.
Never played it. I have, with the release of the movie, I'm getting a lot more people asking about it on my socials. So I actually have kind of really started committing to TikTok. I'm reading Rosalina's storybook one chapter at a time. By the time this interview airs, the whole thing will be up on my TikTok. Please check it out. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a live something, maybe play Mario Kart as Rosalina. But no, I'm not really a gamer. So I respect gamers. I love them. They pay my bills, but I've never played. So I think I'm going to do that on a live. I think that'd be really fun.
But what do you think about Brie Larson playing the character?
Yeah, I haven't heard it. Again, the movie wouldn't mean anything to me. The lore doesn't. And a lot of fans were really disappointed when they found out that it was going to be a famous person. Like, of course it was going to be a famous person. That's always going to be true. It wasn't Charles playing Mario. It was Chris Pratt, and he wasn't even really doing a Mario voice. He was kind of doing Chris Pratt. So I love Brie Larson. I think that she's super talented. I think she was a great choice for Rosalina. I think it's really interesting. She definitely did the lower range, which was how I did Rosalina. Subsequent voices kind of went a lot higher. It was a very different take on Rosalina. I'm assuming Nintendo wanted that. That was not the way that I interpreted that character. I thought she was supposed to be very grounded, very, from the diaphragm kind of thing. Again, storybook voice. So I thought that was interesting. If I'd been Nintendo, I would have gone back and done every original character voice possible. Yeah. Because I think that's what the fans would have gone to see. To me, I don't know anyone who's like, I'm going to go see something that Chris Pratt did the voice of. Like, it's just not the same. It's not James Earl Jones doing it, So I think Nintendo missed the boat there. Love you guys. Please have me back. But I do think you missed the boat there. I really do.
Yeah, Roman and I had that discussion not that long ago about bringing the old characters back. But, maybe in testing, they thought maybe it probably wouldn't have...
I doubt they tested. Truly, big companies like that, yes, they do testing for some things, for sure. But nostalgia is hot right now, and I do think that they were just doing what every other. All of them do that. It used to be voice actors played voice characters, and then you started getting Patton Oswalt doing Ratatouille, and that kind of started changing things, and it started becoming more celebrity based. Every celebrity now, every actor has a home studio now where they can run in and do their auditions, and they're not even auditioning, So that has taken quite a bit from voice actors in general. But truly, unless you are a truly gifted actor that can do voiceover in a really specific way, it's a waste to hire someone to do it. Truly, you're just hiring for a name. It's kind of a shame.
To take that from Ruben as well on that conversation, it's like, well, I got to meet Jim Cummings at Fan Expo this year.
Jealous.
Sorry, Ruben.
I'll never forgive you.
You
were probably invited.
No, I had no idea.
It was a date. Yeah, my girlfriend.
Yeah, he my girlfriend. Girl over his best friend. Okay.
I see where you stand.
I'm sorry, Ruben. Anyways, I met Jim Cummings, who was very lovely, and but I noticed that like I would, if they ever made like a Darkwing Duck movie, I would much rather pay to see Jim Cummings do the voice of Darkwing Duck.
That would be criminal to do otherwise,
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. And
why not?
And that was the thing about that whole movie is like you have, it was an entertaining movie, but at the same time, they're giving so much work to the Hollywood actors and taking it away. Mel Blanc would not have been. Bugs Bunny would not have been the same thing if it was Clark Gable doing the voice of Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck, or whatever. So, or Jimmy Stewart, Daffy Duck.
Right. I liken it a lot to influencers getting jobs in television shows, and I know why they do it. They do it because they're like, well, look, this TikTok star has 5 million subscribers. Those 5 million are going to come over and watch this show. not true. Even when it's like Mr. Beast, yeah, sure, there will be some that will follow. But for the most part, they want to watch their influencer on the platform they're on, doing the thing that they do. So I get the thought behind it, and it does sometimes absolutely work. But for the most part, you're not getting that same, the audience isn't the same, and the audience doesn't want it the same. And so I think it's that same mindset of, well, we have this part, and honestly, the Rosalina part, from everything I've been told, was pretty small in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because in the game, it's kind of a big part of it. So I think for a lot of fans, they really wanted it to be the game with the voice actors and giving them that same nostalgic feeling. I hear over and over and over again from fans, "You are the voice of my childhood. You're bringing me back to my childhood." Like, I'm here for it. That's amazing, and I love it. But I don't think Brie Larson is going to get that same. It's just not. No one's going to go see it because it was Brie Larson. They want to see Rosalina.
Right.
Again, no shade to Brie. Love her, but it's not really the same.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to move on to Sunshine Girl?
Yes.
All right. So, I actually had never heard of it before.
Thanks.
to be honest,
I've heard of you.
I did a little bit of research earlier today, and I was like, why didn't I? This is right up my alley. I love scary movies. I love ghost stories. Tell us about it. How did it come about?
Yeah, so The Haunting of Sunshine Girl was a project that I did with my daughter, Paige, and a business partner that was a director he's still a director in Portland, named Nick Hagan. And he came to us one day and he said, "Hey, I have this idea. I've been doing this research on YouTube, and the second most searched topic back in 2010 around Halloween was ghosts." Makes sense.
Right.
First one was Lil Wayne. Couldn't figure out really how to do an entire story around him. So again, this was 2010. We were so far ahead of the trend. We were basically doing a TV show on YouTube. So think Gilmore Girls meets Paranormal Activity. Mother, daughter move into a house. It's haunted. Wait, is it the house? Or is it Sunshine Girl? Who's haunted? So it was very much a handheld, direct to camera. You guys, I think my house is haunted. Mom's possessed by a demon. That type of thing. And we did it, all on our own. It was literally the three of us. Nick kind of created the storyline and gave it to us. My daughter ad-libbed. Luckily, my daughter and I are really good at ad-libbing, so we just kind of went with it. And then we would throw it up on YouTube, kept them really short because at the time that was the trend. So like the videos would be 1 minute to 2 minutes long. And we did it so Hollywood would kind of pay attention. We were like, look, we're these filmmakers in Oregon. We know how to tell a great story. We know how to engage with an audience. We weren't trying to be influencers. We called it unscripted reality television. And my one regret is we didn't keep it real long enough. I wish we hadn't had my character be possessed by a demon quite so early. A lot of our viewers were thinking it was like Lonely Girl 15. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And they really thought it was real, that this was a real girl documenting her haunted house. We should have stuck with that longer. I don't believe in regrets. I regret that. So we really did it to sort of show Hollywood, look, Portland has talent, look what we're doing here. Look at this fan base we've created. And it worked. We got The Haunting of Sunshine Girl to be purchased for books first, then a movie/television show from Weinstein Films. So excited. The biggest people in Hollywood. Miramax, come on. We were so excited. And we had a book series. It was amazing. Weinstein Books supported it so well. Ended up being a New York Times bestseller. The first book was endorsed by Wes Craven and R.L. Stein. I mean, you can't do better than that. And it was being shopped. It was going to be a television show on BBC America. We were ready. We were going to replace Orphan Black. And Harvey was finally held accountable for the things that everyone knew he'd been doing for decades. I'm super grateful he was held accountable. He is sitting in a jail cell where he should be. But it did take our show and put it into turnaround, which is speak for BBC. Was like, we don't want to do this right now. I don't blame them. Our spot went to Killing Eve. Love it. It's all good. But it took a long time for us to get the rights back. So we have the rights back. We are now trying to find a new home for it again because we still think it's a great story. And we do have that fan base, even though it's been all these years. We have 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. People, want to see Sunshine do these adventures. So it's bittersweet.
Well, the Haunting of Sunshine Girl, there was I was looking it up on the Internet Movie Database, and there's several iterations of them. Tell us more about the Haunting of the Sunshine Girl. Was it the Black-Eyed Boys?
Black-Eyed Kids.
Black-Eyed Kids.
They're not gender specific. We're gender inclusive with our horror film. So the Black-Eyed Kids was a trend that was really, really popular for a little while. Everyone was talking about these,
Late night radio was talking about it.
Yeah, this, it was like Bigfoot. This idea of this, is it a conspiracy theory? Is it real? Is it, it was an urban legend. And so we took just a little bit of our own money and put it together. We didn't have investors, and we just shot a full-length feature film to go up on our YouTube. And we did it union so that we could get some of the best actors in Portland, including if you're a fan of Gilmore Girls. Ted Rooney was in our movie, and he's a Portland actor, but you all know him as the neighbor Babette's husband, the really tall guy on Gilmore Girls, Morty, something like that. Morty, we're going home. I'm trying to think about how Babette said it. It has been a while since I watched Gilmore Girls, but so we got like really great actors to be in it, and we shot it kind of guerrilla style, and we got our Black-Eyed Kids, and a couple of the people that were in that have now moved to LA and are working. Jasmine Savoy has been on all kinds of things, and she was in the new Scream movie, and Aparna. I can't think of Aparna's last name, but she was on AP Bio. It's like some of our actors have gone on to do. Diego Velasquez was one of our Black-Eyed Kids, and he was on the Thundermans. So I mean, I credit The Haunting of Sunshine Girl and the Black-Eyed Kids with getting them all of their fame. Sure.
How much fun was it playing this?
Oh, it was so fun. We had such a good time. Honestly, everything about it was... I got to work with my kid, and at a time, she was 16, 17, when kids are like, we were working together. We were having a blast. And it's all ad lib. So, like Nick would tell us, okay, they're in a fight here. I'd be like, talk about acting. We just don't fight. And so it would just feel weird to be like arguing about something. Usually it was about a ghost. But and then my youngest actually played Anna, the girl ghost, and then she got too tall and had to be replaced. We had to get Nick's daughter to come play the ghost. Luckily there was no cover the face so you couldn't tell who it was, but it was fun. We loved it.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of actors, I think Anya Taylor-Joy was the last person I heard say that her favorite type of movies to be in are scary movies, because they say the greatest time. They're always laughing behind the scenes, of course, when it's all cut, action, they're doing thing, they're screaming, they're running, and then when it's done, they're laughing, they're taking shots. And
playing with the fake blood. And all of that.
And they're having the best time, and of course, us as the viewer, we're jumping out of our skin sometimes.
Yeah.
And
it was so fun. I love it. We're talking about putting together another adventure and going and filming another season just because we miss it. But Paige has a little chihuahua named Pongo that the fans loved and would be often in the show. But sometimes, when we were doing something really scary, I'd be holding him behind the camera, and Paige, covered in blood, would just be like coming right at the camera. And we just kind of stare at her. He's like the best on-set dog. We're like, that dog is so chill. Like, Paige is being weird again. Never barked, never, was on set with us all the time, and just not acting like a normal chihuahua at all. So. No.
Ankle shredders.
But Anna's right. It was very fun.
Cute.
Well, that was brilliant, pretty much, of doing something like that, because I do remember Lonely Girl 15, and it was... I think that was very forward-thinking of you and Nick and Paige to have that short-form entertainment, which TikTok was not a thing way back when. And now, have you thought of putting? Has Nick or you thought of putting them on TikTok, since they are only like around 2 minute long?
They don't transfer as well because of how much everything has changed. And we shot it on not even a phone back then. It was like a flip camera, is that what that was called? The one button, it was one of those. So the Haunting of Sunshine Girl does have a TikTok, and we do have some of the things on there. And actually, it has a pretty good following. we are talking about really dedicating more to that format. It just takes time, and we're all busy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know how we all have survival jobs because, you know, has anyone seen the price of gas lately?
Holy
You know, so
hurts
we
to
love
talk
health
about that.
insurance. So we all have survival jobs, but we are all still working in the industry in one format or another. Paige does a lot of styling for film and television now because really she just wants to be on set. You know, Nick is still a director, producer, writer. So there's always a possibility that we'll do some more to it, but it's really funny. We get the same sort of emails and messages from fans about The Haunting of Sunshine Girl that we do about Rosalina. You know, these are people who grew up with watching the show. You know, we started in 2010, and a lot of young people watched it. It was before YouTube really shut down the 13. So we thought our fans were like teenagers. Our fans were like 8 and 9.
Oh.
We had no idea until we went on book tour, and these little kids were like, "I love you, Sunshine." We're like, "You were watching that? Did your mom know?" You know, it was clean. You know, she didn't swear. It was a long time before she even wore a tank top. You know, we kept it really clean, but it was still horror. So think Goosebumps, right? So they grew up with watching Sunshine, and you know, I could read you fan mail. Comments, and you wouldn't know, is this a Rosalina fan or a Sunshine Girl fan? And I think that's really interesting. I think that combination, it was all kind of about the same time, you know, Super Mario Galaxy was coming out right about the time we started Sunshine, you know, kind of, they overlap by about 3 years. And it's really interesting how many of the fan bases kind of overlap. The people who like to watch scary things on their phone at night, you know, alone, kind of overlap with, you know, video games. So our fan base overlaps a little bit. And when I started doing a lot of TikToks about Rosalina, I'd get these occasional comments. Are you Sunshine's mom? Did I watch you on YouTube in 2015? You did, correct. So that's been really fun, and I love the overlap. It's not something I expected.
Gosh, Sunshine Girl feels like it should be a juggernaut. What's the future of it going to be like, do you think?
We just don't know because, I mean, we would love for, you know, A24 to pick it up. You know, that would be amazing. But we just don't know. It's unfortunately, I get messages all the time. It should be on Netflix. You should give it to Netflix. Great. Do you have Netflix's number? I mean, like, you kind of have to kind of know someone. We have people trying to put packages together, you know, over the years. I mean, Weinstein was sending it out. I mean, we were getting we want Chris Columbus to direct it. I mean, we were getting huge names, and it was just like putting the package together. So it isn't that we don't want to. I mean, honestly, I think it would be amazing as a vertical video series. You know, a lot of them have really great budgets now. I think it would be great on, you know, I'm partial to HBO Max just because I feel like they're doing really interesting things. Or Apple TV maybe, but it does feel a little Netflixy just because of Stranger Things. And, you know, this paranormal, but funny. It's funny and also scary and real.
Please.
Until I got possessed by a demon.
Please don't give up. I'm definitely going to binge watch this stuff now. I promise. Cross my heart. And I'm positive once I'm done, I'm going to be wanting more. So please.
I would love to do more. At the very least, I think we're going to find a haunted location and do an adventure. So season 2 is this whole adventure where we're exploring the Oregon coast and just hitting various haunted locations and. So we'll do something, but it's really fun and it's just a lot of work.
Please let us know if we can help you out in any capacity with that one.
I'm going to come be a ghost.
I'd love to.
We talked about at one point doing a contest for fans. We'll fly you out to be a ghost. That was one of our plans.
Cool. Oh my God, you would make the fans so happy for something like that.
Yeah.
No, seriously, whenever I go to a Comic-Con and people take their extra time on the phone to say hi to my mom, do my outgoing voicemail, write your name so I can get a tattoo. I see that happen and I'm like, God, these people, they truly love what they do. They truly appreciate the fans. And then there's some people, it's like, yeah, next. So, I mean.
I actually started a Cameo for that exact reason. I'm like, let me do a birthday wish for your kid in, Rosalina's voice or something. Because people do, it means something to them.
Yes, it does.
And because it means something to them, it means something to me. So, reading Rosalina's storybook, I'm just doing a chapter at a time and putting it up.
Cute.
And I love it. And actually, Dark Horse, who produced the book, published the book, again, keeping it local with Oregon, love them. They've been sharing it. I'm like, okay, great. Let's do it officially, Dark Horse. Call me. My agent is in both ears in Portland, Oregon. Talk to Sam. Hook me up. Because I'd love to do it officially. I'm just kind of doing it, with my phone and all of that. But
Sure.
yeah, and I think at some point I might record the whole thing like officially in my studio as just like one book where people can listen to it like before they fall asleep. That kind of thing, like a story without any visuals or anything. So I'm playing around with that idea too. I don't have a lack of ideas, like at all.
You just got a giant, like, just vision board of just all their brainstorming sessions.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just having the time to do it. I do social media for a living, both as a freelance, but also for a company. And it's hard to want to, like, go home and do, like, when it's your job, I'm tired, I don't have quite the hustle that I did in 2010. So it's just that. I think every creative understands. But the Rosalina fans have really kind of lit a fire under me because they love it so much. So then that makes me love it. So we'll see. I think
amazing.
Yeah, I think there's lots of good stuff out there to do. So we'll figure out some stuff. But
I do think the movie Super Mario Galaxy, just visually, if they had, of course,
beautiful.
if they had the classic actors,
I
Chris
get it,
Pratt
yeah.
fans and Brie Larson fans, but also, the game, I just started playing it a couple of years ago with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, when they included that in the package. And the really cool thing that struck me was it had a very big relationship to that book, The Little Prince. Do you remember that book?
Oh, absolutely. It does kind of have the telescope and the lumas, and it's beautiful. I mean, if you haven't seen Rosalina's storybook, it's stunning. Dark Horse just really did an amazing job on that. But yeah, I've heard that the movie was beautiful. Again, I probably won't see it. Sorry, Brie.
Question that I have for you is your other video game. Well, first off, are you allowed to do, like, if you do a script for voiceover work, are you allowed to do it on your own social media, or is that this is proprietary, this is part of?
Great question, Roman. Yeah, it depends. I mean, obviously there are NDAs, and for a long time I thought I couldn't do anything with Rosalina because of not just an NDA, but just a number of things. Like, I don't want to piss off Nintendo. I'd love for them. I think there'd be nothing better for Nintendo, before me, for Mario game, for fans, than to bring me back. Like, I think Rosalina needs her own game, right? Like a whole game. So, I wanted to be really careful, or like reading the storybook. I didn't want to piss off Dark Horse. I love them. But I really do, I'm really careful about that. There are a ton of video games that I have done that I can't talk about, whether they haven't come out yet or whatever. I think if you're doing something like The Last of Us, yes, they are very careful about not spoiling stuff.
Right.
I would love to do more indie video games that I think could be really, really fun and a little bit more free. I like to ad-lib and stuff. Not that I don't love good writing. But I really want to do something like The Last of Us, something that has more dialogue. A lot of my stuff that I do is more, I'm going to get you. It's like very fight kind of, I think because I have a deeper voice. So it just depends on what you're doing. Sometimes we even have to sign NDAs before we can even audition. Especially with all of remember I said I do non-broadcast, so I'll get scripts that'll talk about things that are coming out in the tech world that we can't talk about yet, or a political ad or a government thing where you can't talk about it, because it hasn't come out yet. And so there is a lot of that. You have to be really careful, but it kind of just depends. Usually once a game is out, you can kind of do your thing. And again, I wish I'd filmed some of it. Like when I do video games now, I'm filming it and I air it on my channels and stuff after. So it's changed a lot.
My question is to you, if you can do it. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but the Fred Meyer ad, like you mentioned that, and like I see it on YouTube, like before I come to Fred Meyer. Can you do that? Or are you allowed to do that?
Yeah,
Fred
I mean,
Meyer?
if I had a script, I could do it. Like Fred Meyer is pretty much kind of like, shop at Fred Meyer, where everything is on sale. $2.99 for a cut of beef. That voice.
Wow.
Like, I mean, that one is, I get booked for that over and over and over again because I have like a lower range, but I'm still speaking with a really bright voice, you know? So, yeah, normally things like that, I mean, they want you to mention Fred Meyer. Did I mention Fred Meyer? Kroger's Fred Meyer, you know, they want that, you know? So it kind of just depends on what it is. It's really funny because when I first started, I realized really quickly, wait, social media, that's a free way for me to post my work for producers, casting directors, like Twitter back in the day. I booked so much work off of that because I wasn't ashamed to be like, look, this is this spot I did. Or like, this is this interview I did. Here, go watch it here. That's free. So I would connect with people and it would lead to work. Twitter back in the day, I have friends that I've literally never met in real life that I would consider tight friends. That are people I only know from Twitter.
Nice.
Back in the day. It's very much changed.
It was Wild West back in the day.
Yeah. So social media kind of changed everything. And now, like I said, they want you to have a following. Even if they're booking you for Fred Meyer, they want you to have a following.
Yeah.
You know, if you love social media, it's great. If you don't, it's painful, which is why sometimes you see big actors kind of being like, hey, I'm on TikTok. They told me I had to. You know, it's like, if you hate it, we're going to see it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, that authenticity. You can't be we know too much about our celebrities now, and you can't have that mystique. You know, we've taken that away. Instead of mystique, you have to be authentic. So, double-edged sword.
Well, Mercedes, when you did that Fred Meyer ad, it made me want to go out and buy a bag of oranges and a couch.
I love that. That's what I'm here for.
Did you mention before, sorry, you did some work with Star Trek?
I do have a Star Trek video game. To tell you the truth, I don't remember anything about it.
I was going to say I grew up watching Star Trek, so I was like, extra.
Yeah. I audition and record a lot of things that I either never hear more about or never get made, or I just never, like, so many video games get made in like Romania and stuff that I oftentimes, like, my IMDb is not up to date because I don't update it, and if the producer doesn't put it on there. So a lot of stuff I never get copies of, I never see, I just get a check and I go, thank you. You know? So it kind of depends, but yeah, it's there's a lot of work, way more work out there than people realize, and you just have to hope for the best. Like, I always hope they'll send me what, you know, I'd love to put it on my YouTube and my TikTok and my Instagram, and I have all that, you know, but they have to give it to me.
Sure.
Well, what would your, you know, this would be kind of the general question of, like, you know, for all those kids out there who want to get into voice work, what would be your, like, what would be your recommendations or advice for them?
Use social media. I mean, it's there for you. And the thing is that people think you have to have so much fancy stuff. You can have an iPhone and do it now. I was recently on holiday and I got a message. A lot of my work I book from people who know me. I'm the girl voice for companies, for clients, that kind of thing. And I had someone reach out to me through social media, and it's like, hey, we're shooting another film. There's a small voiceover part. We thought of you. You know, can you audition? I'm like, I can, but I am on holiday and I don't take my equipment with me.
Sure.
And I just recorded on my phone in the hotel room. It was fine. It was, for an audition, it was fine.
That works.
Yeah, I have done jobs that go, you know, nationwide commercials that I record on my phone. So you really don't have to have this like really expensive equipment. You just have to want to figure it out, and you have to want to do the research of, like, how do I do this? And then the number one thing I tell people, and this is true for any creative endeavor, does not matter what we're talking about, it is easier to create the work than compete for the work. It is easier to start your own podcast where you get to talk to people about entertainment than ask, you know, wait for someone to be like, hey, we're starting this podcast. Do you want to audition? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, you just have to go out there. When I started realizing, okay, voiceover, I want to do voiceover. This is great. I don't age out of this. I'm old by Hollywood standards.
Stop it.
But I am. I mean, I'm, you know, in Hollywood, I'm not getting booked because I don't look like a grandma. And that's where they want to put me. So voiceover, when I first realized I could do that, I literally called every, like, lawyer I could find in one regional area, listened to their voicemail in the middle of the night. Thank you for calling. Do we screw you or how? You
That's
know,
brilliant.
And I would, like, write it all down. I would record it with my professional, you know, thank you for calling. Do we screw you and how? And then I would send it to them and say, you can use, literally burned a CD. I was like, you can use this instead of what you have, which sounded great. You know, you don't want to insult them, for $100, or I'll re-record for $200 if you'd like to change the script or whatever. I booked so many because you gave them the idea. That if you give them the idea, that's way easier than just being like, well, I have to have an agent and I have to, you know, agents are great. Love agents. They negotiate the contracts. They deal with the union. It's awesome. But also, you can't get an agent until you do the work. So cart, horse, what, how? So it is a lot, like you were saying, it is a lot harder to get into it now. It's also easier than ever. You don't have to have the equipment. We used to have to go to the studio to audition. And now, I mean, I'm auditioning from my car. You know, no one goes, I don't go to a studio for almost anything anymore, even the jobs. You know, and again, I don't have a fancy studio. I do have a microphone and soundproof, but it's not an amazing studio. So it kind of just depends. It's hard to break in, but what's stopping you? You know, there are books that you can read that are, what am I looking for? What's that word? They're
Audiobooks?
Audiobooks, but like royalty free, is that what those are called now? Like public domain? Go read a public domain book. If you want to get into audiobooks, read an audiobook. I don't do audiobooks because you get paid based on the per minute finished thing, and that takes too long. My ADHD, what? You know, my laundry, what? Audiobooks do not work for me. Rosalina's storybook is great. The chapters are a minute long. I'm like, and I'm Mercedes Rose, the original voice of Princess Rosalina. Stay tuned for the next one, because I just can't do it. But if you want to do audiobooks, do audiobooks. What's stopping you? And eventually you can work into getting paid work. But you just have to hustle, and part of it is creatives are not good at marketing. I am, but most aren't.
You have to really want it, that's for sure.
Could take a few hints of advice from you, Mercedes.
Well, and honestly, my other side hustle, because as a creative, we have to have lots of side hustles. People always ask me, like, do you coach voiceover? No, I think you all sound brilliant. I'm terrible at giving direction. But you know what I am good at? Telling you how to run your business. So I do have like a side hustle where I work with creatives and talk about, okay, how do you take what you're doing to the next level? Whether or not they take my advice, again, the check clears. Send me a Venmo and I help you out.
There we
but
go.
yeah, I'm good at marketing. I'm good at marketing creative. I know I'm good at it, but not everyone takes my advice. Like, you know, but either way, I do like to help creatives to figure out how to take their stuff to the next level. Because I can see, well, you're not doing this, or you are doing this and this isn't working. Here's what we can try.
Fantastic.
Take Princess Rosalina's advice.
Yes.
Come on, it's valuable information here.
Well, we always joke in the voiceover world, you can have the best voice in the world. If no one ever hears it, you're not a voice actor.
That's true.
You know?
Right. Having that, advice of just, get out there, do it, just make a video, do your voice, or even do ad type stuff, have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, these days, a lot of demos, that's exactly what they are. You find a Nike ad and you recreate it, but you put your own spin on it. That's the thing. You don't recreate the wheel, you put your own spin on it. And so I think there's no excuse. If you want to do fill in the blank, you do it. No one's stopping you. This is the Wild West out here. And people are getting booked off of, it doesn't matter followers. That's not what you're caring about. It's the right person hearing it and wanting to book you for that thing because they see what you're doing. I mean, people are getting brand deals that it's not because they have a ton of followers, it's because what they're doing is creative. That guy on TikTok that does the rebrand of things like IKEA, hire me to rebrand or whatever. He did like Cracker Barrel and stuff. Genius. The stuff he does, it's terrible. I don't know his name, so I can't give him a real shout out, but maybe an edit you can figure it out.
We'll put his name right out here.
It's so good. And I think, he gets work from that because he's creating something for them to see. If you're an artist and you draw comics, start a DeviantArt, start an Instagram, put yourself out there. It isn't about a lot of followers, it's about putting your content out there.
And those followers are probably all paid for. I mean, just
sometimes, that's a waste. Don't do that. That my marketing brand is like glitching on that. Please don't do that. First of all, it's bad for the algorithm, and it will. They can shut you down. One of the problems I have on TikTok is every once in a while I'll get flagged as an impersonator. I'm impersonating my own voice. What am I?
What are you doing?
What am I impersonating? I am Princess Rosalina, the original voice. So, but all of those big platforms, yeah, there's humans that work there, but that's not what's monitoring. You know, it's
Right.
all being monitored by AI, and it gets flagged sometimes. So,
Yeah.
it's an issue.
Yeah, tell me about it. I had a heck of a time putting a Godzilla teaser up with the Toho was like, no, you know, just putting a block on it every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah.
But it was like I had to finally superimpose our thumbnail image over the trailer image, and it just like it obviously doesn't look as good as the other videos we've done. But it's like, you know, I didn't want Toho to set Godzilla
Content,
on us.
You got it out there. Just it's like when you're making a website. It's like it may not be perfect. Just launch it. Especially if you're trying to put merch out there. Just launch the thing. Clean it up later.
What do they say? Launch at 40, launch at 60, something like that. Like, if you're waiting for it to be perfect, you're never going to do it.
Right.
And I get it. As a creative, it's hard. You want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
You can't. And you just never know. It's like when you're interviewing for a job as a social media or a marketing person, and the person doesn't know anything about it. So they say, what are you going to do to make me go viral? Absolutely nothing, because there's no way of knowing.
Right.
You have
Sure.
no idea. The thing that you spend all this time on, it's going to get 200 views. The thing that you throw up that's your dog, you know, saying, I love you, gets 15 million views.
Yeah.
You know,
You're absolutely right about that.
you have to just throw it out there and hope for the best. And there are things you can do to make it better, obviously, but people agonize over the right thumbnail. You just have to go and see what works and what doesn't. And what serves you, do. And, you know, Anne Hathaway just had this great conversation where she talked about, you know, how exhausted she is. She's in every movie this year, you know. And she said, well, the thing is, though, if I'm exhausted because I'm doing something I love, maybe it's worth it.
Right.
So that's the thing. If you're exhausted but you love what you're doing, I mean, isn't that what we all want now?
Sure.
With the way the world is right now, I feel like you got to be doing what you love, because right now, everything's so uncertain and everything is kind of a shit show. And, you know, so what can you do that brings you joy? If it's voiceover, you know, get a friend who can do animation and make your own little comic.
Yeah.
You know, make your own little animated spot. You don't have to have an art degree and a voice demo.
Yeah. There's a YouTuber out there who goes by the name Alien Theory. He's obsessed with Alien, Predator, that franchise. He actually takes the comic books from the 80s and the 90s, and he uploads them, and he has the perfect, like, ominous voice, and he does an audiobook. And he's gained a huge following. I think he's from Canada, but yeah, I'm even trying. There's some books out there I think are worthy of the world knowing about, that I'm trying to convince my mom to just, do something similar. We'll upload it, and we'll just have you do some voice work over it. And, and you never know what kind of following you get from that, and what doors that might open. So
I have this weird thing where I expect good things to happen for me, which apparently is rare. I didn't know that. I'll talk to someone and they'll be like, well, of course that worked out for you. I'm like, I'm shocked when things don't work out for me. Like, I don't understand that. So I think it is just having this attitude of like, well, why not? You know? And Rosalina, honestly, the fans, it's all positive. I get only positive things from Rosalina. It's really funny though. I got one not that long ago that was like, the ego on this one. I'm like, yeah, you have to have an ego to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Because you do get, I mean, my daughter got comments on The Haunting of Sunshine Girl that would curl your toes. Death threats, marriage proposals,
sorry.
sometimes in the same message, because she was a young girl on the internet.
What? Oh, yeah.
So you have to have a thick skin to put yourself out there. Even what you guys are doing here. You know what, Roman? Someone's not going to say, your bald spot's a little shiny today.
Hey.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm just saying. Ruben over here wore a green shirt today, so he's got to wear a jacket zipped all the way up. You can cut that if you need
Probably
to.
a size too small for
It's
me.
like, ugh. He's over here going, I can cover it up.
So we're doing hair up, right?
You do not have to be perfect or flawless.
Right.
You just have to just do it. Just put yourself out there. And that's not easy for everybody. So, if that's not your thing, cool. What is your thing? Maybe it's writing, maybe it's drawing, whatever. You can still put it out there. You don't have to be the face. I just happen to like being the face and the voice.
No.
Well, that's a good comment, a good topic you raised, because it's like I put out a video. This was, I don't know, maybe sometime last year, and it was a review. I think it was a review. Anyways, I had a comment, and it said MFer stole the chipmunks, and I was like, that's a really. I had to look that up. I thought that's a smart comment. I was like, you think I look like David Cross?
There's worse things to be told, honestly. The guy is hilarious, you know. So, I mean...
Well, my buddy and I at work, so, you know, other people think I look like David Cross. And then he looks like that gentleman, oh gosh, his name, Paul Dano.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Dano from
Paul Dano.
Little Miss Sunshine, and then the Batman.
Somebody recently called him the ugliest man in the world. I'm like, have you seen Steve Buscemi? So don't tell your friend about this, but anyway, he looks like Paul Dano.
Yeah,
you were saying?
So anyways, I thought, what if we did have to talk to the store manager about this? What if we did a contest where if the customer won the contest, they could have a meet and greet with David Cross and Paul Dano?
I think that is so niche. 90% of the people aren't going to know who that is. You know, you got to go with like Pedro Pascal. Do you have a coworker that looks like Pedro Pascal? I think you'd be okay.
We have another Latino coworker who works there, so yeah, this is Pedro Pascal.
Exactly. Yeah. Crazier things have worked.
Oh, Pedro.
You know,
Yeah.
so you never know. You know, and I love when I hear about crazy things like that do work. So I don't know if you guys remember this. All over LA were these billboards that were popping up, and it was just like no words or anything. It was just like an older lady, like in her 80s or 90s, standing in the bathroom in her like nightgown, and there was just a random man in the bathtub, and the water was like milk, so it was just kind of like opaque. And people were like, "What is this?" I still don't know what it actually was, but that person, whoever did those, ended up getting like a horror film deal based off of just that.
Whoa,
So I mean,
what?
it's one of those things where, first of all, if I had a little money, I know I could do a lot. The problem is having that little bit of money. You need that little bit of something to buy the billboard or whatever. So it's not for lack of idea. It's like you have to just keep trying the thing. You know, Paranormal Activity. That was a very low budget film that ended up being this huge franchise.
Oh yeah.
And I think if more people made those leaps, Hollywood doesn't know what it wants. But I think if you just put it out there and have the right attitude, there's a lot of things that can come from it. And so I think it's just not holding back is a lot of it. So, you know, what's your man in the milk bath?
Was it just to do that? It wasn't like to sell any kind of like milk or anything, or cookies or anything like that?
I'm not even really sure what it was, but it got a lot of attention and it got them a deal. So, and there are stories like that all the time that, you know, somebody does one thing on TikTok and all of a sudden they're directing the next Star Wars movie. Is that a great idea? Don't know, but it does happen.
Right. So it's at that level of just kind of throwing whatever out there on the canvas, seeing what sticks, and just because Ruben's gotten on my heels about be consistent, and I was like, you know, it's like maybe a video gets 30 views or whatever, but it's like don't focus on that. Just provide entertainment to people. People will come back because they know that you're constantly putting output. You know,
I know it's hard and it is exhausting, and that's why you have to kind of pace yourself and realize that if you want to do this, it isn't going to be an overnight success.
No.
Right.
You hear about overnight successes, but even they are not an overnight success.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, longevity is definitely not an overnight success. I mean, I've told them it's like it's exciting. We get new viewers, we get more subscribers, and it's like just put just be authentic. It take a couple years. That's advice for everyone else as well, because if you're an overnight success, it's not going to last very long. It might take a couple years before you start to even get monetized, you know what I mean? And then before other opportunities fall into your lap. So just be patient, just have fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. But you have to work really hard to make it not fun.
And find the thing that is what's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most certainly. Well,
this turned very philosophical here.
Ruben, do you have any other questions?
I do. I actually have some rapid fire questions.
Ready?
Nice.
Do it.
A great way to get to know you a little bit better.
Now that we've been talking for an hour.
All right, so you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, so the favorite character that you played?
Oh, well, Rosalina, easily. Mostly because the fans, truly.
The job you wish you would have taken.
Oh, I don't turn down jobs. I don't even audition if it's something I'm not interested in doing. So I don't have one. Great question.
Or what you wish you would have auditioned for but didn't, just like you didn't have time for it. I went on vacation.
Yeah, nothing that I can think of. No.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
80s music or 90s?
80s. Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton or Gucci?
Those are both too expensive. No. Goodwill. Yeah. Yeah. Probably Louis Vuitton. Just because, like, when I was growing up, my mom had one and I thought that was really cool. So probably that if I had to pick. Yeah. And I would love to do voiceover for them. So,
Sure.
Call me.
Let's see. Las Vegas or Nashville?
Neither.
Okay.
Disneyland?
There we go. Go-to karaoke song.
I don't sing. Not karaoke, nothing. Nope.
Like, who sings? No one can sing.
I don't really like, I don't like public.
Shower song.
Anything from the 80s.
Okay,
Just
there we go.
blast my playlist.
All right. Drink of choice.
Diet Coke.
That was a stupid question. 3 things I never leave the house without.
Chapstick. It's a big one. I have to be within 5 feet of chapstick at all time. That's a big one for me. A Diet Coke. Truly. And my cell phone. I mean, I do social media for a living, I do have to have my cell phone. When I was on holiday, one of the people we were with left hers in the hotel, and I was like, "Do you want to go get it?" And we were going to a park, and we were going to be gone for hours. She's like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm like,
No, it's not a cell phone. It is you. Everything about you's on there. You know, your socials, your bank, your
my Life 360 to track my kids.
It's an extension of who you
are. All
are.
Adults, by the way.
Right.
I don't know.
Let's see. Your favorite quote?
I really love Oregon's motto is "She flies with her own wings." I love that. I think that's
cute.
Amazing.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. Stupid question. Favorite Mario Kart character?
Rosalina.
Of course.
Let's go.
Dead or alive, who would you love to meet?
Ooh. I am a big Keanu Reeves fan. I'd love to just hang out and just chat with him about.
Love him. He seems to be the most genuine person in Hollywood.
Can I just hang out with him and Brendan Fraser?
Oh my God.
I mean, you guys are great, but are they available?
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
I really love the chill guys I grew up watching. You know, that's a big one for me. Keanu.
Fantastic. Let's see. You don't have to answer this if you want to. True or false? Men's figure skating is gay.
I mean, most of them are gay.
Yeah.
But I consider that a major compliment. I'm like, you're so gay. I love it. I just like figure skating in general. Although I did go to school with Tanya Harding. So, just saying.
Did you compete for anything together?
No, she really couldn't do anything but ice skating. So she didn't.
Okay.
I was student body vice president 8th grade year, and she couldn't have done that. I literally did not have time because all she was doing was ice skating. So, I didn't say we were friends. I just said I went to school with her. So, yeah.
Every time I see her, I think of the Weird Al song.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. What is something people would be surprised to know about you?
That I'm the voice of Princess Rosalina for all the Mario games. That's the one. Especially, I mentor. I talk to a lot of sort of from junior high to college age students, and especially when I go speak to, say, a media class or something, I will often start with that because they tend to pay attention. Then they're like, "Oh, I'm like, okay, I get it." You're all like, "Wow, she's an actress. I've never seen her. I don't know who you are. You might not know who I am, but you've heard my voice." And then they pay attention. So it's great for a 2 truths and a lie.
Ooh.
It's one of those. So I'm proud of it. I mean, why would I not talk about it? I try to drop it into every conversation,
As you should.
As I'm being checked out at Fred Meyer and she's standing by going, "No. You ever play Mario Kart?"
Almost done. Who were some of your childhood heroes?
Okay, like I said, I grew up with TV. So TV was my babysitter. I watched a lot of TV, and so I really loved Angela Lansbury, Murder, She Wrote,
I love her.
That kind of thing. I thought that I loved people who were from Oregon that had done amazing things. I was really into Beverly Cleary and the people that I thought were just really were ahead of their time.
Right.
You know, which with The Haunting of Sunshine Girl, that's what we kept saying. We are so ahead of our, like, if we made that now, today, from the beginning, it would be a totally different thing, because that narrative storytelling is happening all the time now, and we were just too far ahead of it. So
Wow.
I love a good story. I love a good storytelling, and so my heroes were all people that I felt like told a good story.
Okay, it's not gone forever. It's coming back, you guys. So it'll happen. Very controversial question nowadays: is the Earth round or flat?
That's a controversial question.
Online.
Okay. Yeah, it's very round.
There you go. There you go.
Big round Earth.
Last question: did you have fun?
Oh, today? Absolutely. Like I said, I love talking about Rosalina. I love talking about The Haunting of Sunshine Girl. We had the alarm go off at an hour. I'm like, keep talking. I don't know. You all want to watch it that long? Please edit this down a little. But I love talking about all of it. It's truly part of who I am. I always say the worst day on a film set or in a voice studio is still better than the best day anywhere else.
Miss Mercedes, you are magnificent. Where can we find more about you?
Seriously, you can just Google Mercedes Rose, voice of Princess Rosalina, and find all of my various social media. I post a lot on TikTok, but I realize not everyone has TikTok, so I try to post some on Instagram and my YouTube, but for the most part, I'm either Mercedes Rose everywhere or girl actor. I got a lot of girl actor. My website is I have both girl actor and mercedesrose.com. So I have some of the other, I have Twitter, I have Threads, and I have some of those, but for the most part, it's TikTok is where you can find. It's where I'm reading Rosalina's chapters, and I post, content almost every day. So
fantastic. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You're so generous.
Yeah, thank you. And one last little question there. If Rosalina were here today, what would you do? What would you do to hang out with her?
Ooh, I think I would need to get on like my biggest, fullest dress, and we could just like twirl around and be like, ah, and talk about the Lumas and all of that. She is the mama of the galaxy, and I love that. So.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much, Mercedes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on to our show and
you got it. Hope
being
you get
here.
Lots of other people to interview after me. Hope I inspire you. If you've got a great story to tell, call these guys.
Oh, everything else from this point on would just, hey, we got Princess Rosalina at this point. So
she's the first interview. She's
Exactly.
number one. She's number one.
So this is Roman.
And Ruben.
And
Mercedes Rose. Hi. I forgot we were doing that. I'm a professional.
And don't forget to like,
share, and subscribe.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.